Hi everyone, hope you guys are doing good. So today we are going to talk about the Nexus VPC. So I would say that that is the first priority or the first advantage of Nexus, buying a Nexus. So we are just going to do the Nexus VPC configuration between two Nexus and also the downstream. And we are just going to see how the traffic flow works. So basically here what I have done is I've run two Nexus 9Ks and I've run this in my Eve environment. So this is my Eve environment, so I'm running here and I'm reaching it through my laptop browser. The specifications required for this, if you are trying to do in your lab, are it's pretty much high. So the each Nexus takes about 8 GB of RAM, and also the other devices will take on top of that. So let's skip the introduction and start our configuration. Make this video short. I have just spinned up the VM and turned on the devices, but I have not done any configuration as of such. So you can see here my interfaces are all up, but I have not done any configuration. And so we'll start from the scratch. Okay. So first thing what we'll have to do in an Nexus environment is to enable the feature. So as we are going to configure a VPC, so we'll have to enable the feature as VPC. So we'll do parallelly into the two devices so that we don't waste much of our time. Okay, and that's done. The next thing is to enable the VPC domain. So I'm just going to give a VPC domain name as one. Sorry. Yeah. And once that is done, so we have done that in both the primary and the secondary. We haven't finalized what is primary and secondary first. So I'll just show what is the VPC role. So we see here the VPC is configured, but it is not established. So same should be here. Okay. So this is done. So we have enabled the VPC between these two, the feature VPC, and next we'll have to configure the peer keep alive. So I'm going to do that now. So to do that, I'm just taking a random VLAN, this VLAN 23, and I'm going to name this as keep alive. Okay, and I'm going to put this keep alive under a BRF. So in Nexus we call it as BRF context. So we are going to configure the same name for the BRF. We'll do the same thing parallel here as well. And also the BRF context. Okay, so once that is done, we are going to configure the interface. So interface VLAN 23. So this I wanted to show you what the error is. It's nothing but we haven't enabled the feature. As I said, for anything to be enabled in Nexus we have to enable the feature. So I'm just going to enable the VLAN. Okay, so it is VLAN interface, I guess. Interface VLAN. So we'll just enable the interface VLAN on both the devices. That's done. So now we'll move on to the configuration. Interface VLAN 23. BRF member is keep alive. Okay. So we are putting this IP address inside a BRF. So this is an SBI interface, as you all know. So I'm just going to give the IP address of 192.168.1.1/24, and we'll do it parallelly here. So I'm again going to configure the interface VLAN 23 and VRF member keep alive, and the IP address will be next IP 192.168.1.2/24. Okay. So once that is done, the main thing what it differs from other Cisco devices and the Nexus is that all the devices are by default shut down. So we know that the SBI interface are by default shut down, but even the interface are all shut down. So each time we'll have to manually go and unshut the configuration. So if you remember, if you forget that, then again we'll end up in a troubleshooting parallel. So it's always better to do that parallelly, to unshut the configuration, unshut the interfaces. Next, I am just going to configure the VPC keep alive interface. So here we'll take 1/1 as the VPC keep alive interface, and the rest as the other two as the keep alive ports. So I'm just going to configure the keep alive interface now. It's interface Ethernet 1/1. Okay, and as we have already configured the VLAN, just going to add this as an access VLAN here. That's done. As best practice, I configure the speed and the duplex. Okay, and as I said, don't forget to do the no share. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing in the second Nexus, Ethernet 1/1, switch port access VLAN 23, speed as 1000, and duplex as full. And again the no shut. Okay, so once this is done, we'll be able to ping the device end to end. I'm just going to see that 168.1.1 and the VRF. So in other devices, Cisco device will be giving ping VRF name and IP address. Here is it's a little bit different. So it will be ping IP address and then the VRF and the VRF context, which is the VRF name. Keep alive. Okay. So 1.1 is the self IP. I'm just going to ping 2 from here. Let's see if that is happening. Perfect. So it's working from end to end. So I'm just going to give the command in the other end as well. Ping 192.168.1.1 VRF and the keeper is the VRF name. Okay. So we have established the connection ping between these two. So next is the establishing the VPC peer keep alive link. So here again, so we have enabled the ping. Now we'll have to enable the keep alive. So there's a small one line of configuration for this. I'll just show you that here. So just focus on this. VPC, we should configure this under the VPC domain. So here the keep alive configuration will be coming under the VPC domain. So peer keep alive and the destination, which is the 192.168.1.2, and then with the source of 192.168.1.1, and then again the VRF context, which is VRF keep alive. Okay, so we are going to do the same thing in the next switch. Here again the same command VPC domain 1 and the peer keep alive destination. Here the destination will be 192.168.1.1 and the source will be the opposite 192.168.1.2. Okay, and again the VRF keep alive. Okay, so once that is done, you can see the VPC peer means peer keep alive. So to see this, the command for VPC peer keep alive is show VPC peer keep alive. Okay, This is a straightforward command. So you can see here the peer is alive. So same thing should work here as well. Okay, so it's alive on both the sides. You can see the success rate, what is the send and the receive status, and also the source and destination. Okay, so that's done, successfully done the first step. So kudos to you too for watching this. So next is the configuration of the VPC peer links. So as I said before, the first link we have dedicated for VPC keep alive. So other two links will be used for the VPC peer links. So in new technologies like Tufin and other kind of VM environments, the environment is a bit different, wherein they are using Ethernet, two of the interfaces for keep alive, and one for data transfer. There's a difference between that, and I'll explain that in the upcoming slides. Okay, so we'll start the configuration of the keep alive. Again, as I said before, if you can remember, once we start a keep alive configuration, again we'll have to enable the feature. So the feature here is LACP. Okay, so we'll enable that on both the sides. Feature LACP. Okay, so we have enabled the LACP. Now we are going to use the other two interfaces. So I'm just going to configure the Ethernet interface 1/2 and 1/3. So I'm just going to put a range here so as to make things simple. So I'm just going to put a description. I don't want to waste much of our time. We'll see PPC. Okay, VPC PR link or something. Okay, so I'll just copy the same lines, put it here as well, and the same description. Okay, now we'll have to configure a channel group. Channel group is nothing but a port channel configuration. So we are going to put this as a mode active. So it will be actively searching for the next port. So we'll put the same command there as well parallelly. And once that is done, so I'm going to create a VLAN 10. So any guesses why I'm going to configure a VLAN 10? Yep, you're right. So I'm going to allow the VLAN 10 between the VPC peer keep alive. So I'll tell you why we are doing this. I'll just show you in a minute. So we'll first finish the configurations. So I'm just going to configure port channel. So I'm going to configure port channel 23. Again the description, which is again the same description. I'll just copy that here. Okay. Once that is done, I'm just going to put the switch port mode trunk, and then switch port trunk, our favorite command, right? Allowed VLAN. So we should never forget the command allowed VLAN. There's one another command we missed, that is add VLAN, if you remember. So we as a network engineers generally have faced this issue before, forgetting the add command. I'm just going to copy the same port channel configuration here as well. Okay, cool. So once that is done, so the main command comes here. So these are the usual port channel configurations. So the new configuration which is required is VPC peer link. So I'm just going to enable the VPC peer link. Okay. So once that is done, the VPC is enabled, and also I'm going to put the spanning tree mode, which is spanning tree port type as network. Okay. So we'll copy the line again here. So once that is done, our initial step is done. So again, I'll just show you what is this. So the VLAN 10 is nothing but, let's say there's a server. Okay, we will just consider this VPC as a server. So here the VLAN means FA2/0 will be an access port of VLAN 10. So the traffic from VPC comes here, hits this device. So we'll be again configuring a port channel between FA0/0 and 1/0 and having the VLAN there. So this VLAN 10 has to navigate through the peer links so that the traffic flow will be perfect. And also that is the main purpose of the VPC peer links. Okay, so that VLAN 10 will be coming there. So once that configuration is done, so or most of our work is done. So I'll just see what is the status. So again, the command for that is show VPC. Perfect. So we see here the adjacency is formed is okay and the peer is alive and everything is a success. Okay. So we'll see the same command which is happening there. The next switch, show VPC, and as per the rule, this has taken primary and this has taken secondary. It might be because of an uptime or the MAC address and all this stuff. Okay, you can even prioritize which needs to be primary and secondary. That's another topic. So we have already seen the VPC. So the next configuration will be to configure the downlink. So you remember we have configured the downlink VLAN as VLAN 10. So I'm just going to see. So here the downlink for Nexus 1 will be 1/4 and for next 2 will be again Nexus 1/4. So again I'm going to configure interface Ethernet 1/4 description. Maybe we'll put server or a device. We'll put an ISR or something. That going to be the real-time scenarios. And then the okay commands switchboard access VLAN 10, then hardening commands speed 1000, and again a channel group which is 10. Okay, once that is done, I'm just going to configure the interface port channel 10, switch port access VLAN 10, and the main command which defines that this is a VPC interface is VPC 10. Okay, so this is also done. So I'm going to do the same thing here. So as it's all the same interface, it's easier to configure. So channel group is configured and then the port channel interface configuration is done. Access and the VPC interface configuration. So once this is done, what happens is there's a VPC bundling which happens between these ports. So these two ports are actually working as a port channel. So here we see the port means channel group VPC as 10, and again here the VPC is 10. So this is a VPC port. So in other words, this can be imagined as two switches instead of physically two switches and virtually one switch. It's more like a stacking concept, but in Nexus that's a different stage. So the traffic flow from VPC will happen through both the ports active. So that will, and the VPC peer links will be exchanging the traffic based on the on this thing. So this avoids looping as well because of the peer keep alives which are happening. And now you can see that the VPC configuration is perfectly done. Okay. So to see the commands, how is the VPC up? So the command is show VPC. I'll give you a hell lot of commands, but actually we have just enabled one port, right? So I'm just giving a easier command. So the detailed command for that will be show VPC pipe begin and VPC status. That's it. So you'll see exactly what's the status directly. So this is the configurations which we have done. Other than this, we can configure the peer gateway. Those are all optional stuffs. Yeah. So this is the basic understanding. So if you want more videos on this VPC in detail, I can give you an explanation on top of it. Just let your comments below. Thank you guys. Thanks for your time. Have a good day. Happy learning. Bye bye.